should have done, but at the same time, come on. Yeah. But at the same time, we thought it was a good effort. Okay.
How about just the fact that the guys have really looked forward to that game so much? I mean, that's got to be a
Oh
huge...
yeah, it was a big letdown now, and we were really yesterday still pretty down. Generally, after a loss, after a day or so, after maybe even a couple hours or so, sometimes, the life starts to come back into them. But yesterday we were pretty down, so it'll take us another day. We don't have practice today, so we get out there and get after it again tomorrow. But at this point, it is kind of bare around here. Ordinarily, they'd be buzzing with guys walking in and out in meetings, that kind of stuff. We hadn't seen very many guys around here the last day or so. So, been one of those kind of deals.
It's kind of like a regrouping, I guess. Everybody's
Yeah, it is. And the fact that that we're not in it anymore, kind of gives you a little bit of a different sensation. We pretty much at this point of the year used to, being in the mix and although we can still maybe be somewhere close to the top, have a winning season, those kind of things are our goals now. 7-4 seems a lot better than say 5-6. So those are the kind of things now that we're trying to aim it toward. But at the same time, it is a little bit disappointing.
That's a lot, not just finishing out the season, but I guess building towards the future too.
Right, and we like to start playing some of our younger guys. We don't have a lot of guys active that we're not playing. Most of the guys that are actually in our plans right now are either being redshirted or got some other issue that maybe injury or something of that nature that we're not playing them. So we're talking a situation here now that we are trying to play as many guys as we can to get as much experience as we can. And to be respectful of our seniors and those guys too as they finish up their careers. We want them to have every opportunity to play as much as they can. They've played real good for us over the years, and we want to give them every opportunity to finish out their career on the up note.
How do you see it with the last two games being on the road? Is it, I guess, better to kind of leave the members of Saturday behind?
It could be. Ordinarily you wouldn't think that'd be a great idea, but our process is a little bit better sometimes on the road anyway because we're in the hotel. We're kind of sequestered away in a way where we get their total attention. So that gives us a chance to get away from it all a little bit. So I think that might be a good thing in the fact that we do get a chance to get away a little bit.
That's good. How about just what have you heard from the guys other than just them trying to get past Saturday?
Well, it was a tough deal. Anytime you feel like you snatched defeat away from the jaws of victory, I guess, is what we did. It's a tough deal. And, we've gone through it back and forth. And a big part of the whole deal was losing our center in the first quarter, having to deal with the snap stuff and that kind of stuff. Because even if we get a good snap at the very end, we got a great play call. Everything is there for us. And, we had some instances earlier in the game when we were driving where we had snap kinds of deals that hurt our offensive productivity that way some. So, it was a tough deal because we had a lot of different parts of it. We could have put that game away earlier in the game if we had just had a little bit better fortune there. So, it was a tough deal all around. And then that between Settles and Victor both being hurt, both those were our fullbacks, so we're down to a 3 fullback. And our punt team, was something that we kept that we had to talk about some. But ordinarily, you go too deep on most of your special teams. Very seldom do you need a 3, at a particular position. So that kind of got us a little bit. But you dress 70, maybe 75 guys. Of those 75 guys, you actually maybe got 55 to 60 on the active roster, and that gives you a good 2 deep both sides with a couple spares. So you just don't have that many people.
Right. Not to go back over too much, but still, I guess the thoughts are, the fans wonder too, I guess, how does the player read something at that point in the game to make that kind of call? I mean, it's like
it's
trying to steal
a
a
little
base
bit
in the World
crazy.
Series if you need to stay on base.
You're right. It's kind of similar to that. It was a little bit confusing, the fact that we had a guy on the field. We actually launched the team off the sideline. And it's a big thing for us to get everybody to get the call. We got him launched late. And he got out there. He happened to be the call guy that got launched late, which was, it was almost a Bermuda Triangle of issues there that kind of went on. So it's so much easier because they weren't safe. We really didn't have any pressure on that team at all. It could have been a lot easier. And I'm the culprit who actually that he got to and said, hey, I'm well. I said, well, let's take this guy back in there. I probably would have been better off because we'd already launched that team rather than try to launch that guy there late. He went out there late with a call that, was not necessarily the right call. So, I'm the culprit in the whole deal. But at the same time, it was a situation that was a little bit unusual because of the fact that we just had so many moving parts that just came together in a negative way.
Right. Now looking forward to Norfolk, what have you seen with them and what's going to be key for y'all to take advantage of that?
Well, Norfolk's been struggling a little bit too. Played their homecoming game Saturday and won in a close game in overtime against Savannah State. Have been a little bit different kind of Norfolk team than what we've had. They line up the same, but they're a good bit younger on defense. But the defensive side of the ball is generally what's been their calling card over the years. The quarterback kid, the transfer kid, let me see what his name is. That's really their player. Transferred from FIU, which one is that? You got, yeah, transferred from Florida Atlantic, somewhere in that nigga way, yeah. And he's really part of the straw that stirs their whole drink. A runaround guy, who really can play. So, it'll be interesting to see how we can come up with an idea. Hankerson is his name, but he really is, we think, special. The rest of that team, they're a little bit young on the offensive line. They do run the football pretty good, so it'll be a pretty good challenge for us. And then defensively, they really attack you. Their defensive coordinator is a veteran of this league, Jerry Holmes. He's been really, I guess, around maybe since we've been here at different places. And his style of defense has always been one where he likes to blitz you a bunch. So, and everybody seems now to want to, because our offensive line has been a little bit subpar from previous years, to try to blitz us every snap. It was a little bit unusual for A&T to come after us the way they did, but that seems to be the style everybody seems to kind of want to use against us at this point. So I'm sure they'll be kind of similar to us that way. And then in the special teams game, we got to make sure that we can do the things there that that can give us a chance to be the kind of team that we used to being. A little bit disappointed. The one point that we didn't talk about much is that, man, we should have made that field goal at the very end. It was a pretty easy, and protection, all that kind of stuff was great, but. That was kind of a part of the day where, you just kind of say, well, if it could go wrong, it went wrong for us that day. So we got to play better in the special teams game again, too, which would be a big part of us getting the chance to be successful up there.
Coach, despite the loss in that last drive, talk a little about Caleb's leadership. Now, he's been unbelievable all season.
Well, he really did a nice job of getting us on the field, and we've been working pretty hard in practice on our 2-minute drill, and that came out to be a blessing for us, in that situation, and he's been better at it than anybody we've had at it for some time, and he got us down the field in a way that it really shows you what kind of character, what kind of skills and ability that he had that way. Good, cool, calm, collected kind of style approach. And I was really proud of our team for coming back and getting the football back down in scoring position the way we did right at that point. It's just so sad that that we couldn't finish it off, and the fact that we had the little play that we had prior to that we got the best snap on wide open, and I think he would have hit that, or something maybe earlier that we tried to run with. I kind of take my hat off to A&T. They made that because they held to America on a little play that we had the little corner route going to Merrick, and I think that would have come open. So that it was just one of those kind of deals where it just didn't come together for us. But I can tell you what, it wasn't for lack of effort and even lack of just ability for this guy to go out and get us down the field that way. There are not a lot of quarterbacks that can get you down the field that way, in that situation with that little bit of time. But we had one timeout. We ended up being able to hold our timeout to the very end so that we could use it for the field goal. So I thought he was really good in that particular situation. And in a lot of other situations he is. He's beat all the heck up right now. He's black and blue all over. He's got a lot of bruises and that kind of stuff because lots of times they run him hot. A lot of these empty protections, that kind of stuff. What happens is they blitz you, and they're really trying to blitz him because he's a young guy that they really want to try to see if he can stand in there. And he continues to stand in there and throws it and gets back. He gets up and plays the next play. But now he's taking a bunch of shots in this offense, and it's not necessarily because we didn't block for him, but because some of those protections just. They rush 6 when you got 5 blockers. They rush 7 when you got 6. That kind of stuff. So we're getting a lot of that kind of stuff. And part of the deal is once we get a little bit older in the receiver core, we can really hurt them and throw some